Hertz increased the fleets of electric vehicle rental cars, then its profit exploded. Now, Hertz discovered that electric vehicles are between 50 to 60% cheaper to maintain than gasoline-powered cars. That's absolutely incredible that they discovered this, but so is other companies, of course. So rental car company Hertz is shifting into high gear on the road to electric vehicles. Already, it's seen 12% increase in yearly profits as the globe-spanning rental car company accelerated its transition to EVs and to lower costs. Hertz CEO Stefan Herts reported that $2.5 billion in revenue during a third quarter earnings call, and in the same quarter, the company confirmed a deal with GM, General Motors, for 175,000 EVs. The revenue figure is part explained by the corporate demand for rentals provided by Hertz is rising to 70% of pre-pandemic levels. But of course, the other big contributor was Hertz's discovery that EVs are between 50 to 60% cheaper to maintain than gasoline-powered cars. Now, the good thing is that we've got a quote from Hertz CEO, Stefan, and I quote, "We focus on operational excellence and fleet optimization to produce financial results that facilitate investment in our strategic priorities, like electrification, while enhancing returns to our shareholders and being in service of our customers." Now, there are fewer moving parts on an electric cars. That's a big contribution to lowering costs of maintaining an electric cars. And due to the fact that there are just a lot lower moving parts on EVs than gas burning cars, which simply means there are few failure points on a component that can make for costly replacements. Additionally, less time a vehicle is receiving repairs at the auto shop means it's spending more time on the road and thus have more opportunity to make money as a rental company and rental cars. So this shift towards electric vehicles are having a big impact on the world. The criticism, however, is that mining resources for these electric vehicles are not very good right now. They're really not good right now. But they've never been good. Let me just state this. They've never been good. Electric cars are just a new wave of technology on the road. However, we've had to use lithium batteries for cell phones for decades. And very few people were complaining about the bad conditions people go through in order to mine these rare earth materials, not to mention the side effects that it could have on our dear planet. However, since electric cars have been introduced, more popularized, this argument has been intensified. But this problem of illegal mining, bad mining conditions, bad for employees, bad for the planet, child labor mining in some countries, places like the Congo mining for nickel or mining for cobalt, where children have to do the job, this has been happening for a very long time. So it possibly is a good thing that electric cars are actually drawing more attention to the sad environment and sad marketplace that it really is out there for a lot of people who are mining the materials that go into our laptop, our smartphones, our cars, and much more electronics. So the fact that electric cars are driving so much attention to this humanitarian problem, it's actually a good thing for the industry, because the more attention that it drives to that part of the industry, the more pressure we can then add to these companies to ask them to change these working conditions, to source their materials from better providers, to make sure that children are not being slaved out, to make sure that people are getting good wages, to make sure that the living condition and working conditions are safe, to make sure that it minimizes the damages and side effects to our planet. This is our time, people. Now we can drive this pressure onto electric car vehicle companies and to bigger companies as well. What about Apple, Samsung, these companies that make a lot of electronics? They use a lot of lithium as well. These companies should be held responsible. But most important, we need to hold responsibility for this as well. Because if it wasn't for this, cobalt, nickel, lithium would not be worth anything. Because if we stop purchasing laptop phones and electric cars, I can guarantee you it would fix the problem. So the problem is not just the industry, it's not just the companies, the problem is also us consumers. We keep on buying, they continue to produce. So we need to take responsibility. They need to take responsibility. And we need to figure out a way how to make the world better for mining these resources for everyone. So I do apologize that I've gone off track just a little bit, but I had to add that a very important information in there, something that we don't talk about enough. And one of the best ways to change this problem, one of the best ways to fix this problem is if we, the consumers, stop buying these electronical devices, these electric cars. So how can we do this? Well, I think it's time we started focusing more conversations on this topic, because right now there's not enough conversations being held on this topic. There's a lot of conversations about how good electric vehicles will be for the environment and for people's daily life, but not enough conversation on how bad it is for the people who actually mine these resources, or for the environment, the side effects. We need to have conversations on everything, not just the good, but also the bad, and we must take responsibility. Now let's get back to topic. Of course, I hope I didn't lose you in all of this, but the deal with GM for more electric vehicles puts them on a track to complete Hertz' electrification goal. It is the biggest single uptick commitment of EVs by a fleet customer to date, following an earlier commitment for 100,000 Model 3s from Tesla. Earlier this year, Hertz announced a partnership with Polestar to buy 65,000 EVs. This signals that the growing trend of electric vehicles on road all over the world is likely to continue. The good news for the planet, as studies show that EVs create less carbon pollution than conventional gasoline-powered cars, even after accounting for energy expended to produce, transport, and to charge them. Now, before we close out this video, Hertz CEO has one more quote, so let's see what he has to say. And I quote, "And so I think the open of vault, if you will, the supply of EVs to add to what we're doing around Tesla, Polestar, I think will be positive, both in terms of customer experience and in terms of overall economical pictures around depreciation for our products set." That's what the Hertz CEO had to say on his final statement. But I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Some great things for Hertz, Polestar, but it's also important to state the bad effects that this tends to have on the environment and people. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you find it educational. If you have any comment, any questions, leave a comment below. Let's have a conversation. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you in our next video.